What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Onyx The Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Right now. Okay, so I'm not Onyx, but you get the point. So, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, quite a long name, just hit Screambox here just recently. It was in theaters, and now you can also do it on digital and on Screambox. So if you have a Screambox subscription, load it up, fire it up, and watch it immediately. To let you guys know that don't know who Onyx the Fortuitous is, well, let me take you down memory lane. Many moons ago. Well, not exactly that far ago. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. There stood a food establishment on the outskirts of a tiny village, where one man witnessed an occurrence of most evil destruction. His journey and observance was that of the fortuitous one. Or, you know, just a guy that worked at Arby's and did a fantasy type thing, you know, which if you recall, he was wearing an Arby's getup and he was actually, you know, telling some really crazy, fantastic tales that sounded like he was in D&D.
I thought perhaps the end of days was upon us, but it turned out it was just a disoriented old lady in a champagne-colored Toyota Avalon.
This character got really popular and got pretty famous. They did some other sort of TV shows and things on YouTube, and it's like a shorts and stuff like that. And the character kind of has evolved over a period of time. Fast forward to the future, they did a Kickstarter a couple of years ago to do a movie based on this character, Onyx, who has actually fallen into the worlds that he speaks of and becomes this character in this movie. They raised about $600,000, just a little over, on Kickstarter to get the funds to secure to do all the effects and puppetry and all the things on here. And now we're here and we're able to see the movie. So what did I think? Well, first of all, let me tell you what the story's about. So Onyx, the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, is about a fledgling occultist named Onyx. Fast food working kind of nobody that really basically is just an odd duck in the entire world. He meets up with a group of worshipers who have won a contest to meet their Dark Lord, BARTOK the Great, and join him in his mansion in doing a few rituals. And in doing so, he uncovers this mystery of something far more dark, far more than he was ever expecting. Now, this was a movie that was directed by Andrew Bowser and, of course, written by Andrew Bowser, and then obviously funded by over 7,493 backers, plus any of the other producers that were on board. So I actually kind of liked this movie quite a bit. I actually thought it was a lot of fun. There's a sort of comedy and sort of humor style that this is going to resonate with more than I think everyone, because of the specific type of humor that it is. Situational kind of things that are going on, kind of overly ridiculous in this movie, that kind of blend into this crazy world that Onyx is living in. Now, if you aren't familiar with Andrew Bowser, other than the Arby's guy, he's basically done a few other films, including some short films, and one in particular that was pretty popular called Jimmy Tupper versus the Goatmen of Bowie, and a short film that he did in 2020 in Arizona, which I was actually at that event when he did this, and so I'm kind of confused as to why I didn't see this. There's this short film called Little Willie, which is kind of like a play on Chucky and Child's Play and everything like that. And they had Adrian Barbeau and Zach Galligan in it. Tale of this guy who was a child actor and grew up to be a nobody, essentially, and the doll is still speaking to him. It's really actually a fun watch if you get a chance Alter put it up. So if you want to look it up on YouTube, you could just type in Little Willie 2020 and it'll pull it up. But they shot it at Mad Monster here in Arizona. Just a weird story. But anyway, Andrew's done a lot of different work writing and making comedy and doing his skits and things, whether it be on his personal channel, on YouTube, or, you know, somewhere else. I really have a lot of respect for a lot of the creativity that he has. This is a very creative person, and you could just tell because of how lore-centric his movie is. The humor may not hit with everybody, and I understand that. And there's gonna be some people that are like, I laugh so hard I die, or it's not good at all. And I'm sorry to say, but there's a lot of room in between there. And personally, while the humor isn't exactly 100% my style of humor, I still have to bow in respect to the aesthetic, the camera work, the acting, the comedy, the puppetry, the look of this entire film. It just looks fantastic. Like you're being thrown into Andrew Bowser's Muppet Kingdom, but in his own way. A lot of the 80s nostalgia that is tucked into this movie that I think a lot of younger fans are going to probably miss, but doesn't mean it's not accessible or still humorous to those that are younger than us. I'm just an old bastard, so of course I know these things. You can see it in some of the characters that he has. There's moments in the film that mirror something like Beetlejuice. They even have throwbacks to Garbage Pail Kids. There's just a lot of Andrew's, it seems, his personal life is tucked into one big movie. And I think that means that he was writing from his heart, and he wanted to make this as perfect as he possibly could. But I think it is because he leans on these childhood things. I think it adds to this film quite a bit. But for younger fans, maybe that'll fall flat for them. Be on the lookout for silly jokes, obviously, creatures, puppetry that is just kind of way out there, a lot of over-the-top acting and sort of dark humor. There's also a singing number in the movie that is kind of wrapped around throughout the movie and then plays itself again at some point. A popular tune that I might add. A lot of 80s humor in here, so if you are fond of the 80s, I would definitely recommend this movie for sure. Now, Onyx is, he's a schlup. He's an idiot. He's kind of like one of those guys that has never really left the home and kind of lived with his parents for too long. An older guy, sort of, that is acting kind of like a younger guy in a very innocent kind of way. And so the tone of this movie is also kind of innocent. Like, it's not a fucking, Disney movie. It is definitely got some blood and gore and things in here. And he's definitely got some dark humor in there. There's a lot of sexual humor and things of that nature, a lot of potty humor, but it's really well thought out. And like, you can tell that there's just a lot of attention to the story and the details and the way they made this look. Like I said, this is aesthetically a really good looking film. Now, at the beginning of the movie, I was kind of, laughing at a few things, and I wasn't really like outlandishly laughing until a little bit halfway through and over. I started laughing out loud quite a bit. I think it was just because I was kind of getting acclimated to the overall situation, because there's a lot coming at you with a lot of different characters. I mean, for one, we got Barbara Crampton as his mom, which is awesome. We've got Jeffrey Combs as Bartok the Great, and many other people. Everybody actually kind of fills their comedic roles of this movie in a very serious way, and there's like a very different type of cast too. There's like a lady who's like a Christian lady who's turned to the evil side. There's like this goth chick. There's like the nerdy kind of cool girl who's really smart, the really smart guy, and then there's Onyx, the weird guy that doesn't really fit into anywhere, somehow finding his footing in this movie. It's really funny because like Jeffrey Combs is actually really pretty decent in this movie. A character that I haven't necessarily seen, but he does it really well. He doesn't dial it in. Not that he would. It's a pretty meaty role for Jeffrey Combs, not just some topping that you would expect. He's actually in the film quite a bit. I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really glad I got a chance to watch this. I would really like to get a Blu-ray copy of this movie to add to my collection, or a 4K. I mean, whatever comes out, but I have a feeling that I feel like this is going to be stuck on streaming for a little while. Hopefully that's not the case. And Screambox and Bloody Disgusting will put out a copy on Blu-ray or 4K, probably more so Blu-ray. I would say for a movie like this, it's going to be for some niche crowd, but for those who get it, they're gonna love it. And for those who don't really get it, they're gonna find something in it that they'll probably like. It'll really appeal to that specific crowd that it's supposed to hit. Not everybody, unfortunately, although I would think that this is a movie that even younger kids that, you know, are looking for movies that are outside of their reach, maybe outside of their age bracket, because, you know, like I was watching Ghostbusters, which is a little outside of my age bracket. But yeah, I give it like a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. I'd like to watch it again. Is it the best movie this year? No. But it's a lot of fun, and you have to respect the game. This creative, lore-centric, fun game. There's not many movies like this out there. I would actually like to see a sequel of this. I'm sure I'm not the only one on that, by the way. So I hope that they get enough funding to be able to do it, and the people who really enjoy it will back it again. There's just something about it that I like seeing where it goes, and the storytelling and the comedy that's kind of dry or, you know, poopy humor or whatever sometimes. But it's like got this weird mix of like a lot of different comedy and things. Ironic, situational. I think that while it may not make everyone laugh hilariously out of their seat, it will be interesting enough to follow to the end, if that makes sense. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This might not be for you. What do you think? If it is for you, what do you think? I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.